Welcome. Y'all ready? If you're ready, say, I'm ready. All right, here we go. Here we go. Chapter 3 is opportunity monopolized. Okay, it's just up. No man is kept poor because opportunity has been taken from him, because other people have monopolized the wealth and have put a fence around it. You may be shut off from engaging in business in certain lines, but there are other channels open to you. Probably it would be hard for you to get into control of any great railroad systems. That field is pretty well monopolized, but the electric railway business is still in its infancy. It offers plenty of scope for enterprise, and it will be a very few years until traffic and transportation through the air will become a great industry. Could you imagine writing that? Knowing how we get flights and everything else and all of that, how in just 100 years? Isn't that crazy? It'll be a few years until the traffic of transportation through air will become a great industry, and in all its branches will give employment to hundreds of thousands of perhaps even millions of people. Why not turn your attention to the development of aerial transportation instead of competing with J.J. Hill and others for the chance in the steam railway world? It is quite true that if you are a workman in the employ of the Steel Trust, you have very little chance of becoming an owner of the plant in which you work. But it is also true that if you will commence to act in a certain way, that's what the whole last chapter was, right? You can soon leave the employ of the Steel Trust and you may buy a farm of from 10 to 40 acres and engage in the business as a producer of foodstuffs. There's a great opportunity at this time for men who will live upon small tracts of land, cultivate the same intensively. Such men will certainly get rich. You may say that it is impossible for you to get the land, but I'm going to prove to you that it is not impossible and that you can certainly get a farm if you will go to work in a certain way. Just out of curiosity, what would we change the farm into these days? Right? Big farms have kind of monopolized it. What would we change the farm into these days? What would you change it? What would be the alternative to a farm? What might you do? Let me put my glass on here so I can see. Networking, absolutely. Really kind of blurry here. Networking, sure. Coaching, right? Wouldn't coaching, that industry is needed right now. Um, just a variety of things, right? So networking is a big one. At different periods, the tide of opportunity sets in different directions according to the needs of the whole and the particular stage of social evolution which has been reached. So, what's the tide that's been turning? Right? We talk about it's even become nomenclature. Probably it's a word in a dictionary now. Side gig, side hyphen gig. Or how about disruptive business? That's what Airbnb did. That's what Uber did. That's right. What Musk is doing to space travel. It's disruptive technology, disruptive business. So the social evolution, the stage of social evolution, which has been reached. So what's the current stage of our social evolution? It's all digital. So wouldn't it make sense for you to become good at being able to keep the attention of people via digital conversation? At present in America, it is setting toward agriculture and the allied industries and profession. Today, opportunity is open before the factory worker in his line. It is open before the businessman who supplies the farmer more than before the one who supplies the factory worker, and before the professional man who waits upon the farmer more than before, and the one who serves the working class. There is an abundance of opportunity for man who will go with the tide instead of trying to swim against it. So the factory workers, either as individuals or as a class, are not deprived of opportunity. The workers are not being kept down by their masters. They are not being ground by the trusts, right? Get into the grind. Look at that. Wallace was using it way back then. They're not getting into they're not being ground. He didn't say get into the grind. They're not being ground by the trusts and the combinations of capital. As a class, they are where they are because they do not do things in a certain way. If you have the book, you may want to underline that. They are where they are. We are where we are because we do not do things in a certain way. We are doing certain things, but we are not doing things in a certain way. If the workers of America chose to do so, they could follow the example of their big brothers in Belgium and other countries and establish great department stores and cooperative industries. They could elect men of their own class to office and pass laws favoring the development of such cooperative industries. Hopefully that'll turn off there, and it won't. Hold, please. Doesn't help with the recording when you got somebody trying to call you on. Big brothers in Belgium, cooperative industries. The working class may become the master class whenever they will begin to do things in a certain way. The working class will become the master class whenever they will begin to do things in a certain way. The law of wealth is the same for them as it is for all others. The law of wealth. This they must learn. They will remain where they are as long as they continue to do as they do, right? Doing what you're doing, you'll keep getting what you're getting. The individual worker, however, is not held down by the ignorance or the mental sloughness of his class. Would you say that there's a lot of people who get involved in network marketing and turn it into wish marketing? However, the individual worker is not held down by the ignorance or the mental sloughness of his class. We're not held down. I'm not held down because of the way 58-year-olds think. Many people say, well, I'm 58, I'm just too old, or I'm too this, or I'm too that, or I'm too, and they use their age or race or creed or religion or education to put them in a class. And they use the definitions that that class has to keep themselves down. You are not tied to that. You're not tied to I'm 60 years old, I'm 20 years old, I'm 80 years old, I'm 40 years old. That's a definition that you can choose to change, right? 50 is the new 30, 50 is the new 30, right? They say things like that. No one is kept in poverty by a shortness in the supply of riches. There is more than enough for all. A palace as large as the Capitol at Washington might be built for every family on earth from the building material in the United States alone. And under intensive cultivation, this country could produce wool, cotton, linen, silk enough to clothe each person in the world finer than Solomon, who arrayed in all his glory, together with food enough to feed them all luxuriously. What did it say? Under intensive cultivation. What would be the intensive cultivation? What is intensive cultivation of your thoughts? Isn't that sitting down thinking? Isn't that doing your gratitude? Isn't that doing your blessings? Isn't that doing the 3 questions at night each night? How many of you do that? Don't answer this. How many of you do the 3 questions each night at night, every night? You'll start to find some things changing. The visible supply is practically, listen carefully, the visible supply is practically inexhaustible. And the invisible supply really is inexhaustible. What's the invisible supply? The thinking stuff. Everything you see on earth is made from one original substance. Out of which all things proceed. There is a thinking stuff, which in its original state permeates and penetrates and fills the inner spaces of the universe. New forms are constantly being made and older ones are dissolving, but all are shapes, assumed by capital one, capital thing. New forms are constantly being made and older forms are dissolving, but all are shapes assumed by one thing. There is no limit to the supply of the formless stuff or original substance. The universe is made out of it, but it was not all used in the making of the universe. Listen carefully, underline that again. We could spend a whole day talking about that. The universe is made out of it. What is it? The formless stuff, the original substance. But it was not all used in making of the universe. How many of you, if you ever baked anything or cooked anything and you had to add some milk to the, right? You make cereal. You add some milk to it. The cereal is made with the milk, but not all of the milk was used to make it. Let me ask you this. You were born, you created, God said, come here, touched you with a spark, and you showed up. Is all of the spark in you used, or was there was a part of the spark used to make you? Isn't there still more spark in you? Isn't the unlimited, the formless, the one thing, the formless substance, isn't there plenty left inside of you? It's where all of your it comes from. Whatever it is you have right now came from the spark that started you. Is there not more spark in you? How much more spark is there? Endless. The spaces in, through, and between the forms of the visible universe are permeated and filled with the original substance, with the formless stuff. Between you and me is the formless stuff. Between you and your kids, between you and the couch, you realize your electrons never touch anything. They can't. It's impossible. You can't get them close enough to touch each other. Nothing. You touch nothing. You feel the charge of the thing you're sitting on. Can you touch something that's very hard like marble and it feels soft, and then you slam your hand to it and it's hard? How is it hard and soft? It just is. It's the amount of electron reverberation that you feel. That's why your hand gets hot when you hit something. Okay, back to the story, Sean. Get back to the story. The spaces in, through, and between the forms of the visible universe are permeated and filled with the original substance, the formless stuff, with the raw material of all things. Circle, underline, star, draw an arrow around all things. The raw material of, not for, not built by, of all things. 10,000 times as much as we have made might still be made, and even then should not have exhausted the supply of the universal raw material. Do you realize how far out on an edge, on a limb, Waddles was going? No man, therefore, is poor because nature is poor. No man, therefore, is poor because nature is poor, or because there's not enough to go around. Is nature poor? Go ahead, take a breath as big as you can. See if there's more for us. Nature is an inexhaustible storehouse of riches. The supply will never run out. Original substance is alive with creative energy and is constantly producing more forms. When the supply of building materials is exhausted, more will be produced. When the soil is exhausted so that foodstuffs and materials for clothing will no longer grow upon it, it will be renewed and more soil will be made. When all the gold and silver has been dug from the earth, if man is still at such a stage in social development that he needs gold and silver, more will be produced from the formless, The formless stuff responds to the needs of man. Have you put a need out there clearly? Designed, definite major purpose, so the formless can respond to the need you've put forth to it? The formless stuff responds to the needs of man and women. It will not let him be without any good thing. This is true of man collectively, and the race as a whole is always abundantly rich. If the individuals are poor, it's because they do not follow the certain way. The race is rich. If the individuals are poor, they do not follow the certain way of doing things which makes the individual man rich. The formless substance is intelligent. El substancio de formalesia es inteligente. The formless stuff is intelligence. It is the stuff which thinks. It is alive and is always impelled toward more life. It is natural and it is the natural and inherent impulse of life to seek to live more. It is the nature of intelligence to enlarge itself, and of the consciousness to seek to extend its boundaries and find fuller expression. Let's go over that again. It is the natural and inherent impulse of life to seek to live more. It is the nature of intelligence to enlarge itself. It is the consciousness and of consciousness to seek and extend its boundaries and find fuller expression. Where today did you expand your boundaries? Where today did you seek to express fuller expression? What did you do that was bigger in your life? This is where habits kill. If we're not expanding, if we're not expressing, if we're not moving, if we're not thinking, if we're not accessing the thinking stuff, where do good ideas come from? The thinking stuff, right? What does Hill say? When two meet, it creates a mastermind, which creates a third mastermind. The universe of forms has been made by formless living substance, throwing itself into form in order to express itself more fully. The universe is a great living presence, always moving inherently toward more life and fuller functioning. Nature is formed for the advancement of life. Nature is formed for the advancement of life. Its impelling motive is the increase of life. For this cause, everything which can possibly minister to life is bountifully provided. There can be no lack unless God is to contradict himself and nullify his own works. You are not kept poor by lack in the supply of riches. It is a fact, which I shall demonstrate a little further on, that even the resources of the formless supply are at the command of the man or woman who will act and think in a certain way. I'm going to read that paragraph again. 3 paragraphs. The universe is a great living presence, always moving inherently toward more life and fuller functioning. Nature is formed for the advancement of life. Its impelling motive is to increase. Its impelling motive is the increase of life. For this cause, everything which can possibly minister to life is bountifully provided. There can be no lack unless God is to contradict himself and nullify his own words. We are not kept poor by lack in the supply of riches. It is a fact, which I shall demonstrate a little farther on, that even the resources of the formless supply are at the command of the man or woman who will act and think in a certain way. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Chapter 3. Thoughts, comments, takeaways.
Hey,
Hey.
so some of the notes I wrote down are what are you using to put yourself in a class to keep you away from success?
Mm-hmm.
That one was huge for me. Um have you placed your needs out? That was the next one. Um are you expressing yourself fully to what it is that you actually want? And my last big one was there's no lack and there's endless supply. It's at your command. And do you believe in God?
And when you ask, do you believe in God? Even if you're not quite sure about God, based upon what you know about him or her, do you think they're going to go? Do you think what you know about him, do you think he'd ever go back on his word?
No.
No.
Yeah, it's a very interesting chapter.
The key is, do you believe there's a thinking stuff?
Yes.
And does does a creator need to be in existence for the thinking stuff to be in existence?
No.
Doesn't have to be, right? But there is a thinking stuff. You have proven there's a thinking stuff that when you have an idea or you call somebody and they go, I was just thinking of you. Doesn't that prove there's a thinking stuff?
Mm-hmm.
So whether you believe in God or not, there's a thinking stuff and you already know it.
So what's the hurdle?
Well, the hurdle is that what if you come into somebody who doesn't believe? That's I don't believe in God. Okay, don't have to believe in God. You still use the thinking stuff.
Right.
So what's that expression I say when you're looking for an excuse, anyone will work? Because Waddles came out of he was a minister. He came out of the church. The only reason he wrote this is because his mentor in the church wound up in a divorce. And he said, okay, so now I don't have to go be all socialistic. I can be entrepreneurial and still back it with faith. So here's the thing. Are you committing a sin if you don't believe? If you're a believer and you have faith and you believe in God, are you not committing a sin if you don't get rich?
Yeah.
Bless me, Father, for I am poor.
All
Could you
right.
imagine starting it off that way?
Praying 10 Holy Marys tonight before I go to bed.
There you go. That's why gratitude is so valuable.
Man, you're really kicking my ass the past couple days.
Trying to. But maybe this is what you're thinking about. And so I'd be thankful for it.
I am for
I
it.
know you are. I know you are.
I'm just processing everything and uh,
So what if you process faster? What if you jump to the end? What's the end
that's
say?
yeah. Well,
If you get to if you get done with all the processing, what happens? You still have to make a decision. So it's still processing is still am I going to which way am I going to go? Standing at the fork.
right.
Right.
And I'm hesitant.
Mm-hmm. He who
Not that
hesitates is
I'm sorry.
He who hesitates is, do you know that phrase?
No.
He who hesitates is lost.
Well, dang, Gina.
Don't hesitate. Act as if you cannot fail. Oh, and by the way, if you can see, this is a McDonald. That's a prickly pear ketone in here. It's not a. I'm not drinking a McDonald's drink. It was a water for 39 cents. Did you know you can get a 32-ounce water at McDonald's for 39 cents? You know what a 32-ounce, oh, and their water is reversed osmosis. It's not alkaline, but it's reversed osmosis because it's based upon Coca-Cola's formulation for the machine. So you go there, order a water, 32 ounces, no ice. It's cold because it runs through the ice plate. So you can get a 32-ounce water that's normally $2 in a Circle K or something for 39 cents. Those
And
of
you,
you on the thrift spend, on the whatever, on the savings money desire.
you guys are cheap down there. I pay $1 for a thing of ice.
Well,
Water.
well, yeah.
Nope.
Go ahead.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
I answered it. Never mind.
Could you ask it so everybody else could hear it and answer it for us?
Well, it's the willing yourself to become the master class.
Which means you both have to ask, learn, and listen.
Right.
Yeah. When you fall in love with the inquisitive nature of your being, and you keep asking questions, what does that look like? What am I looking for? What am I seeing different? How do I see this different? When do I see this different? What happens if I see this different? Who do I become when I see this different? And that is the filter through which you do everything. You become obsessed with more. I learned so much from the chickens. It's not even funny. I think that's why they like giving us eggs. They give us 9 eggs again today. 11 layers, we get 9 eggs. And nobody, one of the, whoever, we got 3 who lay brown eggs. The 2 of them took off today. So I don't know what they were doing, but that's okay. We'll get 2 brown eggs tomorrow. But we got 9 white eggs today. Which usually means, hang on, I'm just doing the backwards math, that the 3 brown eggs that normally come as part of the 9 eggs, 3 white egg laying chickens either started producing or somebody's went out and bought eggs and put them in the coop for themselves. Hmm. Who else? Thoughts, comments, questions? What's going through your head now, Daniela?
Hmm. So there's a fear of loss on my side.
Yeah, but we're losing what? What could you lose that you would want?
Okay, so if I'm being honest,
Yeah.
um, the reason I couldn't get into my kingdom, when was that?
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, last night. 24 hours ago.
Um, I'm really having a hard time saying this.
Well, that's good.
Um,
This is what you're going to lose. You're going to lose the ability to say this hard thing. That's what you're going to lose as soon as you say it. It will no longer be hard to say it.
I feel like I'm gonna lose my family,
Okay.
and that I will outgrow people
Mm-hmm.
that I don't want to outgrow.
Okay. So you can never outgrow them. they can choose not to let you back in. You
Oh,
can,
you need to explain.
okay. So we have some people that came back into the group here, right? Recently. Shane's
Yeah.
back, right? Shane's
Yeah.
back in the morning and uh Ada's back. For 3 years we outgrew them. For 2 years we outgrew them. But we didn't outgrow them. They can always come back. This is people. I'm not talking family. We're gonna get to family in just a second.
I'm not worried more likely of the people. I'm used to it.
Okay. No, but it's
That
important to understand that it's not that you outgrow them, it's that they no longer can see you. Right? It's called the reticular activating system. Literally in science, there's things that happen where people block out memories, right?
mm-hmm.
So they have blocked a memory of you ever having success. So that's already in place. You're not going to be able to fix that. And when you understand that, when you take care of your core
Mm-hmm.
and those you consider inner circle, right? There's three circles. There's family, the tightest inner circle, and then there's relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking with the guy who we do the sheep with, right? The other farm. And we were talking and riding in the truck. And I said to him, I said, hey, listen, I'm loving spending time with you. I said, I have a 10,000 friends, but I don't have anybody I can go to town with and talk about sheep with. I don't have friends like that. I don't have friends who, if I pick up the phone that are local and call them, I said, I have international friends like that. They'll get on a plane and be here as fast as they can. I said, but I really, I like this friendship we're growing. He says, I don't have friends either. I said, it's so I think we have, do we have something that we would both can, I know I would consider this a friendship. Is this, he goes, nobody's ever had this conversation with me in 45 years. I said, well, I consider you a friend. We don't have to know each other for 40 years to be friends. Friends do things for friends. I'll come over and help you anytime. You know that. He says, I know. He said, and it's the weirdest thing I've ever felt. But everybody else, you know, I got salt and sugar. I don't know which one you want to go pound, but you go pound those. And your family has got to adjust. My brothers still think I'm nuts. One brother, because of his spouse, doesn't talk to me. We sneak texts every now and then. It is what it is. But I can tell you this, what you find soon as you decide to go for it is that none of that's true.
Mm-hmm.
None of that will hold water on the other side of this. And that's just a form of procrastination. That's being, I had this conversation going to pick up a car. We went over to, because I'm going to Dallas tomorrow. So Lisa said, go grab a car from the house. And so Michelle has a car when Mason goes to school. So we just ran over there and came back. And I was texting somebody over there and they go, I have a problem with fear and doubt. I said, you don't have a problem with fear and doubt. You have a problem with decision. What do you mean? I said, you haven't decided to go for what you want. When you decide to go for what you want, really, 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 what do you want? Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want. Really, 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 really want. Then there's no fear and doubt. When you have a burning desire, there's no fear and doubt. And then you rewire and act as if you could not fail. Boy, there is a freedom there.
Okay.
And you're not getting off the hook that easy, unless of course you want to. Let me ask you this. The thing that you're going for,
I'm sorry.
let me ask you this. The thing that you're going for, the thing that you want, is it monopolized? Is there no
Hmm.
more of it?
No.
Okay. So if there's more of it, can you get some of it?
Yes.
Okay. And how much of it could you get? Could you get all you want and there still be some left?
Yes.
So if you can get all you want and there's still some left, are you are you not are you a, are you not taking from other people then? You're not stealing anything. You're not coveting, right? That's the thing they say, don't covet your neighbor's wife. You're not coveting this thing that you want because it's available to everybody, even after you have all you want.
Yes.
So don't feel bad like you're taking away from somebody. This is at a subconscious level. Now, if you get all that you want, you have all that you want, you have like more, even 10 times more than you thought you were going to get, you wind up with 10 times more. Are you going to hoard it all or are you going to be giving stuff away?
Giving stuff away.
Allowing people to use it, come to the house, come to the pool, use your plane, whatever it is, right?
Right.
So are you not being generous?
You cut out.
So are you not being generous? Aren't you being generous when you do that?
Aren't I being what?
Generous.
If I'm
If you have all
what?
that you want, you wound up because you did it so well, you got 10 times more than you thought you wanted, and you start to use it and allow people to use it, come over to the house, throw dinner parties, give to charities. Are you not being a generous human?
I am.
And are you not living a more fuller expression of the life that you want?
Yes.
And if you're living a fuller expression and people now can circle around you, who you've allowed into your circle, inner or otherwise, are their lives not benefiting from your riches?
They are.
So when do you want to get started?
Yesterday.
There's no fear in any of this. Even the people who called you names, you can still send them a check,
Right.
right? Send them a check. So if they don't cash it, just don't wire them the money. Send them a check. They got to cash it.
I'm not understanding what the delay is.
The delay in you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the delay in you is because you have to admit that you're starting over. You're starting anew.
Ew.
And as soon as you start, you can get going. That's why nobody gets started. They got to admit, I'm getting started. You got to say, I'm getting started, which means you got to show up at the line.
Oh my God.
And then you got to start doing the stuff that shows you're started. Don't have to be at the finish line. You got to start. You start behind you and you start moving. And you got to say, my delay, my procrastination, my aggravation, my lack of whatever, it's over. It's done. Decision made, cut off. And you got to say, I'm starting right now. No delay. No, you start where you are, the way you are with what you got, and you move. and you step into the unknown. The delay is stepping into the unknown, stepping out of the pain that you're into a new energy, into a new frequency. It's just, I don't know how many words would be. 3 words. I'm starting now. As soon as you say that, your whole spirit changes, if it's a true statement. Another reason why I don't sponsor people within 50 miles of my house, because they can drive to my house and beat me in my sleep. So what happens when you say, what happens when you answer the call and you step through the door and say, I'm officially starting my journey.
I don't know what
Right,
happens.
good. So the first thing you do is that you're going to get hit with the refusal of the call.
And I feel like I've been there forever.
1,000 times. Sure you have. And then the first thing you're going to find on the other side is the mentors. This is why, so the woman that you found on TikTok that got you to 1,000 followers, and the things that you did there, and some of the other groups that you've been a part of, they're all little mentors. But soon as you start the call, even the mentors you have can shift and change, right? I was talking to Kyle the other day, and I said, one of the greatest compliments you've ever paid me is that we were at an event. It was the second day closing. We're at the bar. We're all having drinks, and everybody's there. There was about 30 people. We were at the hotel, and you and I were talking for about 15 minutes. And I said, why don't you go talk to some other people? He goes, no, I like this. I can't talk shop to them. He changed as a mentor to me as soon as I started to do the activity. As soon as I answered my call and did my Secret Sauce Academy, #1, he said he had a totally different conversations because I had answered my call, and now we can talk shop. All of this stuff these kids are learning, everybody's learning about algorithms and everything else, can't talk shop to them. They haven't built a list. None of it, nobody's got a list. I don't care who you are, you got to have a list, period. You got a list, I can talk shop to you. You want to go do a live event, I can talk shop to you. You've done 3 live events. We can talk shop about it. Heather's done 2 live events now. We can talk shop about things. Things we would never have, we couldn't talk about before. So when do you want to get started?
Now.
Okay. So say I'm starting now.
I'm starting now.
Excellent. Feel it in your soul and say, and own it. Own it like you own the way you own your story. Own it like the way you own the love you have for Teo and Cello. A bear. Own it like just I can't take away your starting. Because you just started. I can't take that away from you. If you said it and you mean it, nobody can take that away from you. But so now you got to ask, who, what would you let, who would you let take that away from you? And every day you'll start, and every day you'll move, and every day you'll quantum leap, and every day you'll have more, and every day you'll hit your head against the wall, and you'll keep going. That's just a lesson. This is everybody. This is for everybody. You got to just say, I'm getting started. And you may have to work yourself up into a white hot lather. That's what I had to do 5 years ago. I was watching somebody who was teaching who couldn't spell MLM forwards or backwards. And I said, enough is enough. Enough is enough with this idiotic stupidity. And people were listening. You have no right to teach. So, how does that make you feel? I want to throw up.
No. Um, it's a different feeling. I don't know it.
Okay, good. Different is good. Love it. Ask who's making it. Who's it coming from? Is it coming from the prince and princess? Is it coming from the magician? Is it coming from what? Just ask. See who it's coming from. If it's different, different is good. I want different. I want different all the time. Different's good.
Um, my king.
Ah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a minute. Well, I haven't talked to him in a minute.
So what's the king have to do? And this is again, the reason that I'm asking this and the reason that it's interesting is because as a female, having the male version of the sovereign come forth, there's a certain reason why they come forth. Normally, females deal with their queen sovereign and guys deal with their king sovereigns, but you have both. And it is interesting to hear that your king came forth. What does he have to share? What does he have to say? What's the energy around it?
To let down my dominance.
Hmm. Is he saying it with his shield up? Could you not be so tough?
Right. To step more into my feminine.
Hmm. Now we're getting to throwing up.
Right.
Which makes sense why.
Because I am who I am.
Hmm.
Or who I was molded to be.
Right.
I don't know how to do it.
Well, you kind of do.
Ew.
Andre Paradis.
Yeah, I know.
This is again, here's the thing. If every one of you right now, I said we're all going to go learn Scandinavia, we're all going to go learn Swedish. And you can't talk like the Muppet. Right? We're all going to how many of you would be mad that you only learned 2 words today? Maybe you learned 10 words today. Maybe you learned how to count from 1 to 10 in Swedish. How many of you would be like, oh, today sucked? No, you'd be pretty excited. You'd be telling people, you want me to hear me count in Swedish 1 to 10? Why are you so frustrated when you go to create a new identity that you think you're supposed to have it already? You have to work on it every day. You have to immerse yourself in it. And you're still going to struggle with it. But you got to get started and you got to stay started. It's the principle of Kaizen, 1/10 or 1% improvement, 1% improvement every day. It's going to take 100 days. If you spent an hour a day, but they say if you spend 20 minutes a day for the next year, you'll be in the top 5% of that industry. Learning it, focused energy, 20 minutes. You spend an hour a day sharpening your skill, doing the thing that you said you're going to do, you'll be in the top 3% in a year. In a year, but most people won't take the year. They start, they stop, they start, they stop. It's got to be 365 days. If you want freedom for the rest of your life, give me the next year. It ain't, it won't always be fun. Could be, but won't always be. Whatever it is that you want to go do, there are certain skills, there are certain things that you need to become aware of so that you can get more than you ever thought possible in your chosen field, in your chosen arena. That'd be my suggestion. Who else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways? Thank you, Daniela.
Thank you, Danny. I'm kind of like in the same boat with you, I think. And the thing that really stuck out to me was the universe is a great living presence, always moving inherently towards more life and full of functioning. So how do you get there?
That's the illusion.
Okay.
That you have to get somewhere. You're already it. Hasn't the universe adapted to your whim and to your will? Hasn't it brought the building materials to build your additions? Hasn't it brought you the rain to grow your grass? Hasn't it brought you the gas to run your mower? Hasn't it brought you the clothes to go to your events? Hasn't it brought you the events so that you can go be excited? It's already giving you everything that you desire. It's already working for you. It's already responding to your requests. You don't have to get anywhere. You might want to do the Crystal Dwyer Hansen book, Ask Bigger. It's a thinking stuff. Think into it. Ask it. What should I be asking for? I do that all the time. What should I be asking for? And I'll hear something and where do I begin to ask for that? Just ask. Do the thing. What Bob Proctor say? Do the thing and you'll have the power to do the thing. Most of us won't do the thing. We won't do it wrong. We won't do it in failure so we can learn success. We're so afraid of skinning our knee, bending our, bruising our ego that we won't even start. Every one of you have seen my flyers, my workbooks, going, this is like the third time this page is in here. What the hell is going on? It's like he can't even. You'll find it. You'll tell me about it. I'm not worried about it. Well, it's not too professional. Show me tell me I'm not professional in what I'm good at. I'm not good at writing books. I'm not good at that. I'm not going to spend my time. I do my best. I've even now sent it to people, say, could you make sure I got like the page numbers right? But you sit me down and do then the one thing that I do well, there's nobody competes.
That's true. That's very true.
So I'm not getting, I do I make it a strong attempt to get better at the things I'm not good at. But I'm not going to let the things that I'm not good at keep me from what I can become great at. So I'm already living in the existence of the thinking substance. I'm sitting in the thinking substance. Here's what's going to happen, right? We all hear this. Soon as the next level of whatever this is, that the journey that I'm on is achieved, is arrived at, somebody's going to come in and going, hey, listen, you just give me what you want the books to look like and I will go make them. Awesome. Great. I'll link you up with my chat GPT and you'll sink in there and you'll go fix everything. I'm not worried about it. I don't want to do everything. I do all of the things to help us get through the things. Right? I'm using the same workbook we had from 3 years ago when I did the Science Getting Rich. So I'm just making new updated conversations because I've gotten better. And so have all of you. You're asking bigger questions. So say to yourself, I'm already in the thing. I'm already in the path. I'm already in the expanding universe. That's the illusion, is we think we're not there. We think we have to get somewhere. You can't get somewhere because you're already there. And once you decide that you leave here from old story, change your what some of you heard me say this before, and some of you I've walked you through this in meditations. Regularly, sometimes a couple of times a day, there's a gold screen that I have in my safe place that I push myself through, that the tiniest little fear and doubt or confusion or delusion or somebody's energy I was around, I have to filter myself out, and I literally push myself like I'm pushing Play-Doh through a screen on the porch. And I just wash out and I take out the stuff, and all of that black sludge goes down into this little golden pot, like a leprechaun's pot. And it goes in there and it turns into gold coins or whatever it is that I want it to do. But I literally go through, sometimes when I'm on the lawnmower, I do it because I need a little extra push if I was around somebody who was a little bit fascinating. But you pick up everybody's energies. Don't you pick up people's energies? You got to go clear yourself of those energies. Right? And if you deal with people a lot in their emotional states, whether you're mentoring them, coaching, speaking to them, or healing them, helping them heal, there is a need for you to clean your energy. Some of you haven't cleared your energies in quite a while. I come out of Walmart, I sit in my truck, and I do this lightsaber in front of me, behind me, because if I have to go get where the paper towels are, that's past the milk and the cheese, and it's all the way in the corner. That's where the paper towels are in this Walmart. Or if I have to go anything in the automotive section, that's the paper towels there. Or if I have to go into the lawn and garden, that's another. These are all of the corners of the store. You get into a corner in the store in Walmart, there is some juju hanging out in those corners. And especially if the corners have a door going out to the ramp, when those doors go whoosh behind the employees, you know what it's cutting off? The energy that was going to follow them in there, and it goes hides out in the corner. So you got every employee who loves working at Walmart. Their energy is getting whacked off as they're going back into the warehouse, and it's sitting up there in the corners. It's sitting in all the corners. You want to know why it sits in the corners? Next time you go by, anybody know a power station where they have all of the transformers and anything? Any of you ever see there's a power station that you drive by? Next time you go by one of those big power stations with all of the big great transformers and all of the big heavy cable, look at all of the cables. Look at all of the connections. There's not one connection that goes 90 degree. They are all radius, because that's easier for flow. Because if you put it at a square, you will melt that corner with the amount of energy, that power that's flowing through that cable. It will melt right at that corner because it stores right there. So any place in the store that you hang out and you go into the corner, and you are a good human like you are a magnet, and you are going to get sucked up. And you come out and go, I don't even like shopping at Walmart. How could you not like shopping at Walmart? It's such a great place. You get to see underwear, you get to see bellies, you get to see muffin tops, you get to see crazy shoes, you get to see a whole bunch of stuff. It's like going to the circus. Then you get to work for yourself. You want to be in a self-starter, you get to check yourself out. You can complain to yourself. You're not giving yourself the right change. You can do all of this stuff. It's awesome. My cashier today, he was sexy. He was sexy.
Like fat bastard sexy.
Yeah, fat bastard. Ooh, you can keep the baby. You keep the mojo. Give me the baby. Get in my belly. So is opportunity monopolized? Allow the thinking stuff, allow the formless stuff to just, when you put your blankets on you today, go, this is the formless stuff. I'm just covering myself in the formless thinking stuff. It's all about changing our words. It's easily about just simply changing our words. That's it. It can't get any simpler. Simply by changing our words. Change the way we look at things, and the things we look at change. When you realize you are already there and you have more than enough talent to go double your income right now, every one of you has more than enough talent to go double your income. It's only doubling it. You've already had more income. It's not even doubling it if you took in consideration what you've ever earned at your highest peak. It's literally just letting go. Every one of you should go get a Matchbox car and let it loose on the highway like a friend is going and going, goodbye, and just, I don't know, it's something. There's got to be, do something different. Change the way you look at things, and things you look at change. Anyone else? Any last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways? Take with you. Is anyone, something you learned, something you like? Any ahas? I ain't saying nothing.
Yes, Sean.
Roz.
For me, hi. It is the last paragraph that you read. Like a few months ago, one of my friends sent me something, and it was something that Reverend Ike had, preached, and it was about going to God and asking Him for things, but not like begging, because we don't have to. It was His promise for us to have all the things that we want. So when you read that, the formless supplies are at the command of the man and woman, that is like, to me, the same thing. Like, it's there. You just have to, like, God, you promised this.
We have to command it.
Yes.
And that's the hard part. We're told we're not enough. Don't do that. Don't ask for more. Don't make a mess. Don't make a sound. Don't embarrass me. Right? These are words I'm listening to my mom say. Don't you embarrass me. Right? She give you the look or pull your hair or pinch your, right? Stop it. So anytime we want to go get something, we're afraid to ask. You ask it. Say, what did Napoleon Hill say to get to the Think and Grow Rich title? Listen, subconscious, I know you've pulled some over on me and I may have pulled some over on you, but right now, I'm telling you, you have to give me that name right now. Otherwise, it's the poorhouse for me. I command you to give me that name. Don't you hesitate. I want it now. Just start saying that. Don't have to say it out loud. I mean, say it out loud, but don't have to unmute. But just start saying, universe, I'm asking you right now. And you get a little fired up about it and say, I'm asking you right now. I want to know the answers to my next question. I need the next question to ask. Say it. I want you to say it to yourself right now. I don't see lips moving.
Universe,
I'm saying, say it. Say it right now. I'm saying, universe, give me this answer right now. Give me the question.
This answer right now.
Give me the question.
What is it that I need to do to get where I want to be?
And say, tell me. Don't ask me and leave it in limbo. I need you to tell me. Imagine you're talking to your kid and the cops just dropped him off and you're going, what'd you do? You better damn well tell me what you did. You better tell me. Listen, you're not in trouble, but I ain't going to whoop your ass till after you tell me. But you got to tell me. You tell me right now. You got to get that way with the universe. You got to get fired up. This lily lap mouse talking ain't going to get you nowhere. You got to get fired up.
Not being nice does not get you there.
You can be nice all you want. He said command, ask and it shall be given. What the heck are we going? Hey, listen, if maybe you got a couple of minutes, maybe one day, sometime in the next decade or so, possibly if it's not too inconvenient, you could help me out of this problem. No, ask and it will be given. I'm going to go start a church. Me and TD Jakes.
You can.
Ask. What are you going to ask for? This is intentions. That's what your intentions are every morning. What are you going to ask for? What are you going to ask for sleep tonight? How many of you want a glorious night's sleep? Ask. Hey, God, listen, I don't know what you got going on, but you can put the bowling down for just a minute. I'm sleeping well tonight, and I need you to give me some good sleep. I command good sleep tonight. Well, you can't ask God for that. The heck I can't. He made me in his own image. Even the least of you can do this and more. Why am I having to be the least of his servants? You want me to go help change the world? Somebody's got to have my back. You got my back, God? Heck yeah, I got your back. Do you have my back, universe? Yes, then ask for it. Law of attraction, ask for it. How many of you have asked somebody out on a date and they didn't know you asked them? Because they said no. Well, did you ask them? No, but they'd say no. Well, you didn't ask them. I was the worst. I was a good-looking high school kid. Tall, polite, kind, courteous, strong, funny. I was the shiitake. But I didn't know it. A lot of the girls wondered, does he have a girlfriend? And they would flirt with me. I didn't know flirting from a 2x4. I just didn't.
I would have loved to have been in high school with you.
It was a blast. I saw selling donuts and the headmaster and the dean putting in their donut orders. Are you kidding? The only kid in school that could sell donuts. Driving teachers when we went co-ed, driving teachers. You're not allowed to drive between schools. It was down campus. It was like a quarter of a mile away. You could walk it, take the bus. But I get in my car in the drive, and the teachers would go, Murph, you going down to Glen Oak? That was the other school. We were Gilmore. That was Glen Oak. You going down to the girls' school? Yeah, let me get in. And I'd get in and drive. I'd never get demerits. I didn't get demerits. Other kids would get called into the print and into his office. He'd see them driving in my car. He'd see them driving and tell him, you better get in my office. And they go, why doesn't Murph get in? Murph's special. It was the greatest thing ever. It was the greatest thing ever. It was so much fun. I loved it.
Every time I pass by Gilmore, I just laugh.
Yeah, it was the greatest thing ever. When I told you my mom took my dad to go meet Brother Robert Lavelle, the headmaster at the time, 12th grade. It was spring semester, so it was like a couple of months graduating. It's over, and my mom had a meeting with him and said, we've spent a lot of money here, and he still can't spell. And Lavelle said with a straight face, my mom was just gobsmacked. Vicky, when Sean grows up, he'll have people that work for him that know how to spell. We're not worried about him and his spelling. We can't cultivate the culture that he brings to the school ever again. There'll be no one like him ever again. So we're just so glad that he's still here. That's why he's passing all of his classes.
And Gilmore's a tough school.
College prep, baby.
Even now.
Yeah. We were college prep then, and it was, I mean, people would send their kids there. It was $7,000. It was, it was $8,000 then for a day student to go to high school for the year, and it was $20,000 for, now it's $75,000 for the dorm. That's more than college. Class of 83, 101 kids in our class. With the girls, we were 58 with just the boys. That's where I met my first girlfriend, Kelly Keating, senior in high school.
I hope to God that's when I hear Mateo say, I met my first girlfriend and I was senior in high school.
Yep. Never went to any of my proms. I parked all the cars, stole everybody's beer, and sold it back to them. Talk about opportunity. Opportunity is not monopolized. Murph, grab my car. You may want to check your trunk. The hell did you do with all my beer? I got it over here. You want to buy it back? Sell them back their beer. What an I? They couldn't beat me up. They couldn't beat me up. So
What's that saying, Sean, that you always say? You don't know.
you don't know the horror. You don't know the horror I've been through to be this nice. The tragedy I've been through to be this nice. Yep. Yeah. Anyone else? Any last thoughts, comments? True confessions. Anyone else? Any last
We
thoughts?
should have a late night confession call. Talk about our childhood. We'd find out some great things.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know which call I said, but I said, I've had 3 near-death experiences. Nope, not doing that. Yeah, well, if you get to know Kinnick, if you get to know Swally, there is this little
Yep.
kind, gentle, right?
Yep.
Mm,
Nope. Stop.
that thing, that energy's got some
We're so similar. It's not even funny.
giddy up and go to it.
Me and her would have been best friends in high school.
Mm-hmm. Let's just put it this way. She probably hung around some people where she got good at holding their hair back. Just saying. I'm going to let go with that. Anyone else? Any last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways? Okay. All right, everybody. I love you tons. I appreciate you. Not this weekend. Next weekend, I'll be building our pull around the ranch wooden porta potty. Yay! Listen, if there's ever a tornado, just get in that thing. It's gonna be 400 or 500 pounds. It's made out of logs that big around.
I was going to say, you're going to make it with cement.
Yeah, no, I think this is heavier than cement. But it'll be very rustic. It'll be very posh. Michelle wants a nice magazine holder and a nice toilet paper holder. Okay, cool. It'll be cool. All right, everybody. I love you tons. I will see you tomorrow morning, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Get some rest. You getting up at 5 a.m. there, Kick?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Make the decision. I'm starting now. All right, everybody. I love you tons. I'll see y'all where?
At the next
event.
I love it, love it, love it. All right, everybody. Have some fun.
Thank you.
Oh,
John.
say,
Thank you,
I'm
thank you.
sleeping well tonight.
I'm
I'm
sleeping
sleeping
well.
well
I
tonight.
sleep well
There you
all the
go.
time.
All right. Bye for now, everybody.
Love you guys.